welcome back to Point Blank. We're on the topic of the Ah Beng, if you've just joined us.
And well, before we start, we should look at some web comments.
That's right. Something Kia says that actually there is an Ah Beng in everybody. Previously, FM 91.3 is labelled as a techno channel. And all my kantang eating friends, potato eating friends, okay, always say, you so being, listen to techno. And then one day when I hopped into their cars, their radio station is preset to FM 91.3. Just admit if you are Ah Beng and say, no need to be ashamed.
Actually, and Elky Fish says, actually as an Ah Beng myself, I feel that Ah Bengs get more life experience because they walk away from the sheltered path. If they have the strength to return from the wild and get serious about life, their ability to succeed is much higher. Go Beng Ah Beng!
Go Beng Ah Beng! Okay, let's see. Well, something Kia says, very, very astute observation. Ah Bengs like handphones with fancy colours, lightings when it rings. Hello, Simi Tai Chi! A bit like what Mark was saying, people, Ah Bengs like to dress in like as many colours as possible.
Yeah. Last time Ah Beng said, hello, Shankar Pager. Remember? Last time we got Pager, right? Then you go, hello, Shankar Pager.
Water. Yeah, anyways, so Elky Fish also says that, anyways, T-shirts and Bermudas and slippers are not Beng. It's just that Singaporean is too hot to be fashionable.
So,
really?
T-shirt, Bermudas and slippers which you wear to school, it's because it's too hot?
No.
Why do you wear Bermudas and slippers to school?
I only have slippers, Bermudas and
T-shirt.
That's your only wardrobe lah.
This is one of my 2 jeans at home. Yeah.
Chinese for Chinese New Year.
Meet your relatives, right?
Chinese New Year then buy one.
Chinese New Year then buy one.
If not, don't have one.
Okay. There was an interesting point that that Elky Fish, I think, made about, that if you want to succeed and all that. Because we have, these two women here who are successful in their careers. Let's look at Eddie Lu. We just saw a video on Eddie Lu's 14 car showrooms. He started from scratch and as a second-hand car salesman. So do you think that you are still an Ah Beng?
I think deep inside, because the root, 45 years, you cannot just change because a businessman. So, when we meet Beng, we can talk, relate very well.
Because sometimes I believe that, Andy, when he was talked to like his colleague or maybe people like me, people like these 2 young guys, very naturally all the Beng come out already. But when talk to the customer, of course you cannot talk to them. Hey, Anna, I mean, I believe all your customers will run away.
Unless they're Bengs.
Yeah, but slowly when you talk to the customer, customers slowly become better and better. I mean, maybe become a bit friend already. Then Ah Beng slowly from the heart.
Yeah. So Eddie, do you find yourself changing as you became more successful in your business?
I think I'm aspired to be a successful businessman. So I study a lot. I read a lot of books. I was so afraid of English. I failed my English during my GCO level. That's why.
Same.
Good friends.
That's why I became a car dealer. I was lucky. I was lucky that that make me work very hard and be very successful in my trade. Because if I don't work hard, I got no place to go. So this is a very good place where I started, and I worked very hard because I got no place to go basically.
Did you try other things before you enter to this scratch car?
Yeah.
I have sell coffee before. I sell cookware before.
Make coffee or what?
I run a coffee store.
Oh, okay.
My auntie's coffee store.
Hawker center or coffee shop?
In the hawker center.
Okay.
Kopitiam lah.
So I run it before. I wake up in 3 a.m. in the morning and I make boil water, all this and that.
Everything.
I sell almost about 300-400 cups of coffee. I do it so well until my auntie took back the store for the son. So I was lucky. I ran out of job. So I went to a car salesman.
So for you right now, do you specially employ Ah Bengs to be your salesman?
Of course not. Now, a lot of my staff is degree holder. But of course, there are still a lot of Bengs in my company that I still cannot see why they don't cut their hair.
Talking to you.
I keep telling them to cut your hair. You don't cut your hair, customer will be very scared.
Yeah,
I'm telling them
image,
because image. Because no choice. 85% of the customer will judge you by the look.
Yes.
I agree with you. People don't like you because they don't like your look.
First impression.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, when you go to see a salesman, more can be sir. Then I don't go in. They're not there to step in. then definitely 100% you lose your customer. So, yeah.
So how do you used to look like when you were, you know, you say you were more Ah Beng when you were young, right?
Wow, exactly the same.
Short, slipper,
shorts,
t-shirt.
I wear khaki, you know. I wear baggers, big.
Last time got those sandals under, they like to put what metal. Then when you walk, got clack like tit-tat dance like that.
Not that big, not that big.
Not that big,
I'm not that.
So you were like that last
Yeah,
time?
last time I was like that. But Trakia is a 1951.
I sell coffee. I sell coffee, but wear khaki because water ma.
Yeah.
So I sell coffee.
Ah Beng, water ma. This is natural one. Suddenly come out. Even for us, definitely will say, oh, you see, because of the water. The water ma. Okay, come out already. Now.
Because you must know now, I'm a very good car salesman. So when we talk to Ah Beng, we must talk big.
Just must be relevant to who you're talking with. Yeah. Well, I spoke to another Beng recently, actually, but no, not this kind of Beng. He thinks that there's no such thing as an Ah Beng who makes it big. He's actually Professor Chua Beng Huat. He's not an Ah Beng at all. And this sociologist thinks Mark Lee may not be a true Ah Beng. Let's take a look.
Wow.
So, Prof. Chua, Mark Lee is on the cover of Reader's Digest. Do you think that Ah Bengs are on the rise in terms of social position and all that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that once you look at Mark Lee really as an actor and not as an Ah Beng, I mean, Ah Beng is just the character that he portrays. Because, you know, there are a lot of the real Ah Bengs doesn't even have the level of linguistic skills to be on TV. So I think, you know, one should not mix up the myth with the reality of what is the life of an Ah Beng.
So you don't think that Mark Lee in real life is an Ah Beng?
If he was once, he isn't now. I mean, so we don't. I mean, I don't know his background, so I can't say. But you know, as I say, if he was once, he certainly isn't now.
It's interesting that you are associating, you know, Ah Beng-hood with the lack of linguistic skills and all that. Don't you think that there are, you know, some Ah Bengs who are pretty eloquent and whether it's in Mandarin or English, that doesn't matter, that they're pretty eloquent?
Well, as I say, if you really, I don't think so. I think that by the time a person has a certain level of education, their mannerisms and so on would have shifted. School changed you. If otherwise you would have dropped out a long time ago.
And what would you say describes an Ah Beng, in your opinion?
I think, you know, first of all, the language skill is largely actually Hokkien speaking, with only a smattering of English. And the English is usually non-grammatical.
But for somebody, for example, like Mark Lee, who started off as a trash can in a comedy show, 搞笑行动, where does that leave him?
It leaves him in the middle class. It gets him. That means he's got himself out of his class background.
So are you saying that if a person was in the middle class, there's no way he could be an Ah Beng?
That depends. Okay, but I mean, I think as a person in television cannot.
You've mentioned before that, you know, the Ah Beng is a caricature. So now is that, you know, more real?
It's always been a caricature.
You still think it is?
Yes. It's even more so now. If you go to Geylang or go to any working class, if you just go to, you know, hang out with sort of working class youth, they don't speak like that. They don't actually even behave necessarily like that. On the street, I see a lot less of them now than I do 10 years ago.
Do you think there's still negative, you know, connotations when you say somebody is an Ah Beng, for example, today? Well, what are the...
It's an I mean, somebody if somebody really is, you know, these terms get used all the time, but you hardly ever call a person Ah Beng to their face unless you are friendly, unless it's your friend. Because it is still a term for people who have a lack of education, who have, you know, who are working in generally blue-collar work, if they are at work at all. I don't think it's a label of endearment. I think it's only a label of endearment in the construction of the media.
How about in real life, in everyday life, the Ah Beng who makes it big, the Ah Beng who owns For example,
What about them? So what if they make it big? That's so what? I mean,
compared to the negative connotations.
come on. By the time they make it big, okay, they are already out of that class.
And that disqualifies them as a Beng.
Yeah, basically, they will no longer behave that way. They will no longer behave in the way that you see them behave on film.
You've not met middle-class Bengs before?
What does that mean?
As in people who still behave the same way like Bengs behave, but richer.
I've actually, I actually have, because of my family background, I actually have a lot of working class friends. Once they have reached a certain level of, business savvy and business success, they change.
Change.